the so the more that I think about the impact that it's going to have on Sony for there to be an emulation project, you know, that's booting games and everything, the worse it gets because this, for one thing, Grand Theft Auto 6 is, oh god, this is not it. GTA PS5. Yeah, there we go. God. So there we go. And everything, the worse that it gets for them, and it's going to continue getting worse and worse and worse and worse, you know, because of, it's just going to keep chugging along now. I can't believe Doom Eternal is on this console at this point. I mean, for one thing, Doom games are the province of PC gamers, so what the fuck are you doing with it on the fucking PlayStation? I guess they wanted to suck up some of that money and everything, but I mean, that was part of the value proposition is that if you didn't like first person shooters, the PlayStation was home for you or the PlayStation 2 because you had all these other types of games that were available and everything. And yet here we are, and I mean this is just an absolutely enormous amount of changes that are happening on this Kaitai and everything just within the past day alone here and everything. But I mean, this is a big deal because, it's what it's late August of, yeah, August 20th, and everything. We aren't even in September yet, and we've got Demon Souls booting and everything. And so what we've got, next month, and then so you've got 3 more. You've got what another 3 weeks or like 3 months and like a week and a half. So you've got September, um, November. Sorry, September, October, November. So you're basically at like what when you consider the change and the fact that it's probably not going to announce on like November 1st, and everything. You're talking about like at least 3 months of development time that we're able to engage in and everything. Before then, and then consider on top of everything else that with all of the news, with the RAM apocalypse and all that, Sony is very iffy about the deadline for when the PlayStation 6 is going to launch. And it's projected out that we may be on the PlayStation 5 all the way to 2030 with prices as elevated as they are so that Sony can enter the market at a more ideal point. We may be stuck with the PlayStation 5 for that long and everything. And in the meantime, emulation is chugging along now because people are pissed. Sony has pissed the internet off immensely, and especially their belief that this is just going to boil over and everything. Or, the people that are like, oh, you'll be back. They're just making us more, those types of comments are just infuriating us more and more and more.